away, we're busy. Actually, on second thoughts, we're playing a game that you might be interested in, so sure, come on and have a look.
Hello there, folks. How's it going? Rare treat. We've got Roger. Look.
Hi everybody.
He's here. Or should I say, the Doctor?
Apparently so.
Partly so. Yeah.
Apparently so.
He's newly regenerated. He's not completely comfortable inside his own skin yet.
Not quite.
Tonight we have got Doctor Who for you from Galeforce Nine. We both kind of like it so far.
It's a really good game. Really good game.
Yeah. So without much ado, we shall do the whole thing where we start to show you stuff and things like that. But really we're just doing this as a chance to dress up and use this backdrop. We don't really care about the game. That's a lie. We do. Anyway, stay tuned and see more things.
Well, this is what's in the box. And as all of these come from the separate modules, will you explain sort of roughly what comes with the base set and what's the add-ons?
Yes, I can. Now, I could be very, very sneaky and reach across Roger and grab the box and literally read out the boring contents list, but we'll keep it fairly general. Suffice to say, core set, you get a shed load of location tiles, shed load of dilemma tiles. These are the places you're going to go in the game. These are the problems you're going to solve. You kick off with 4 Doctors and 4 TARDISes.
What is a flock of TARDISes?
Or is it a herd? Well, it must be a flock because they fly.
They do fly. Well,
Answers on a postcard. Anyway, so we get Matt Smith. We get the first Doctor. I should be calling them by their numbers, shouldn't I, rather than the actors. So we've got the first Doctor, we've got the fourth Doctor, we've got the...
Doctor?
Oh, yeah. Well, I could show you the pictures. So, first, fourth.
Matt Smith.
11th
Doctor. And they're all important 12th Doctor.
and 12th. Oh, yeah, you see. Inspired. That was fluid. So you got to mention them. You've got the action dice, and a lot of people will be familiar with this sort of thing. They are dice that have their own sort of bespoke symbols on it. The symbols translate into sort of different moves. So there's like tactics, science, gadgetry, run away. A mountain of tokens, sonic tokens, progress tokens, and time anomaly tokens, all used in various ways that we'll talk about later. We've got our character cards for the Doctors. We have a squad of Daleks. Now, though they are the same scale, conveniently close to 28mm, they aren't actually that these guys are going to fight each other. These are tokens that mark Dalek progress throughout the game. We've got the Dalek ship lurking here. Pardon me. And then buried underneath this, we have, and you'll see a picture of it probably coming up on the screen round about now. We have the central board, which represents Earth, and the time track, that is the race from Scarrow, the home of the Daleks, to Gallifrey, the home of the Time Lords. And then companion cards that represent Earth and aliens. And this is a wee thing, sorry, I know I'm digressing, but I love this little aspect of it. So Earth companions with a half hemisphere of the Earth.
And alien companions.
And when you set them on the table, you're supposed to do it like that, so it's like one planet. I just think that's class. So little to amuse me. And then the timey-wimey cards, which the War Doctor really wouldn't approve of the name. And these are gadgets, actions, special events, cool things generally that you can do to enhance your Doctor's turn, or indeed help each other.
Extra dice, avoid things, that sort of stuff.
And then of course the dreaded time anomaly cards, which are adorned with the picture of the Dalek fleet. There'll be time anomalies along the track, and when things go horribly wrong, these cards come into play.
And they're particularly nasty.
They are fairly bad. The expansions then obviously give you 2 more Doctors each. They give you the Doctor's consoles as well. Weird little thing, Rog, and I think it was you commenting on this first. They're buried at the front here, but this surprised me. The expansion consoles are really good quality card. The base game ones are essentially paper.
Quite flimsy.
Yeah, and that it's one of you know that I don't like to say bad things generally unless they're really required. But it is one thing kind of struck me as why.
Well, the rest of the card stock in the game is the same. It is that thicker card. So
Yeah.
you could have really gone with that.
Just seems like an odd choice to make, but there we go. So yeah, the expansion packs give you 2 Doctors in each, and they're obviously from different ends of the Doctor's lifespan, just to sort of give that variation. And then they each come with a few new location tiles, a few new dilemmas, all of which that tie into those 2 Doctors. And again, their companion cards kind of come along with different characters from their story arcs. And timey-wimey cards, again, each one. So if there's a particular Doctor you like, you can go and track that one down, introduce it to your core game, and you're going to, when you're cycling through the cards, see those coming up more
And
often.
there'll be things from his adventures, from his series that you will be playing through, and it ties it very well together with that Doctor.
It is one of the lovely features, and you've said this before as well, that when you're going through the game, and obviously you don't know what tiles you're going to bring up each time, but it's class to sort of see the old stories and the new stories cropping up. And if you're a sad fanboy like me, it's like, I remember that one. I remember that one.
I don't remember most of them. But it is actually one of the things we were talking about this earlier. It makes you go, well, I don't know what that storyline is. I'll maybe go track down that episode, have a wee watch at it, see what it's all about. And it brings you back to the series, which is really good.
It's one of the things, and you're quite right now, it's one of the things that I particularly enjoyed with this. And maybe it's because I'm a sad fanboy.
Maybe.
Some people say I'm a sad fanboy. I don't see what they're talking about, to be honest. But so often we've played games that are based on computer games or based on movies or whatever, and they pay lip service.
It has a headline of that game's name, and that's it. It doesn't really play the game the same way. It doesn't inspire you to go play the game again. It has no connection.
No, exactly. Whereas this actually, for a dice placement game, and that's what this boils down to. It is a dice placement game. The mechanic is remarkably straightforward. We've seen it in, I keep calling the wrong Cthulhu game, it's Elder Scrolls,
I think it is.
where you've got the cards and you have to unlock them with dice patterns. So it's
very
a
like that in
yeah.
its play style.
But it works for me. It feels, the card combinations, the planet combinations, it feels whovian.
The companions you're using, you do better if you have the right companions for the right Doctor, so they sort of sync in with each other really well. It sort of encourages you to try and pull together the team that Doctor had.
Yep.
You do better with that team. Those sort of things all come together where it does reinforce the series, and it brings back memories of the series as well, which is really good.
It's one of the interesting things I find in the sort of the tactics of this game, that if you want to play it, as you just said, very true to the spirit of it, and get the 4th Doctor and get Sarah Jane Smith or get the Brigadier, those characters work really well with that Doctor and reward you. But there is still that little bit of scope, if you're more of a tactician, less of a Whovian fan,
Yes.
to cycle through those companions and find a really good mix that's going to work with you. Now, one of the things about that is you can only have at any given time a maximum of 3 companions. You've got your Doctor, you've got 3 slots on your TARDIS console where you can put equipment or items, and then you've got where you build your dice pull up here and kind of your standard special rules. But one of the rules that I love the most in this is the regeneration.
It's a really interesting thing when it happens. It can really annoy you, but it can be really good fun at the same time.
I would have loved to have been in the room at Galeforce 9 when they were sitting around designing this, and guy goes, but they regenerate. Oh yeah, well that's what happens when you die. But what if they regenerate into the next Doctor in the game? Well, that's an interesting idea, John, but he'll already be in play. So they just swap cards. And it's so proper. It's like the Doctor wakes up. Who are you people? Oh, Sarah Jane Smith. Who are you? I'm the Doctor. No, you're not.
And it's so frustrating when you've just built up this cracker team and your Doctor changes to someone completely different.
Why have I got Colin Baker?
And the way this works is if you're playing 4, we can play up to 6 people. Everybody shifts around. If you have the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th Doctor out in a row, all of them are going to move up one Doctor. So it has a big knock-on effect. And some people might get missed out. If you've got a gap between them, you might be safe from that regeneration. But usually somebody's going to get their card changed because you've died, basically. If
you're playing with the base set, and the base set, there's 3 expansions out at the minute for it already. But the mileage to be had out of the base set is phenomenal. But it's obviously easy. You've got the 4th, you've got the 1st, you've got the 4th, you've got the 11th and 12th. Say Roger's playing the 12th for no particular reason, and he ends up having to regenerate. He has to swap cards with whoever's got the 1st out and play if there's 4 of us. Mm-hmm. And everyone swaps up. And if you've included the extras, or as you include the expansions into your game, you swap to the youngest, earliest regeneration.
Whether he's in play or not.
And everyone goes up in line with that. And it throws such a curveball. And it's frustratingly great, but what is beautiful about it is it can happen as a negative consequence. Something bad's gone wrong and you've essentially been wiped out.
Generally that's what's happening.
But you can also do it an act of self-sacrifice.
That's very true.
Which is just on target.
The game itself, it is a competitive game. There is one winner. But what we've found playing it is if you don't play fairly cooperatively, the Daleks are going to win. They will just wipe you out. So you have to balance your own desire to be the one Doctor who wins with helping everybody else out at the same time, and it works very well. It's a nice dynamic too.
Yeah, there is that sort of built-in help mechanic, because obviously you're all the same person, and you can do a help from afar or help from the same location where another Doctor can come, but only one other Doctor. Yes. There's the biggest story is the 2 Doctors. There's no 5 Doctors or 3 Doctors in this one. So you can offer help from afar, which isn't bad, and you give them a dice, or you can come together and sort of split the dice pool. The background story here is that Davros, that evil fiend, has managed to infiltrate the Matrix on Gallifrey, the supercomputer that essentially runs the whole show for the Time Lords. And he is on the brink of fully penetrating the system and undoing the Doctor from all of time. So, by whatever special means necessary, the Time Lord has managed to call upon all his incarnations to come together and to try and undermine the Daleks by getting to Gallifrey first and stopping them. So you've got the Dalek fleet represented by the ship with Davros on it, so to speak, moving its way down the time track towards Gallifrey. Along that time track are time anomalies that if the Dalek ship reaches them, it activates a time anomaly card, makes life really hard. The Doctor's TARDIS.
It's only one.
It's the same TARDIS. Yeah, the TARDIS is always on Earth. The TARDIS is your TARDIS is color coded because they give you these convenient little coloured rubber sort of foot pads to put on, and the same for the figures as well. If you've got a preferred colour, your TARDIS will move down the track along with your colleagues, and that is achieved by defeating dilemmas at the various locations or indeed at Earth. And as you defeat them by meeting the dice criteria, you will get a certain move value for your TARDIS. Your Doctor figure will come to the planet. And it's kind of cool. I mean, here we've got Clara's apartment in the present and the Bank of Carabraxis in the future. Some of them will be the same planet, past and future. Some of them will be a mixture of different sort of things that maybe don't always make sense together, but usually. The dilemmas won't necessarily marry up. I mean, here we've got the Vrood at Clara's apartment. Why? Well, it's a timey-wimey thing. There are all the proper dilemmas to match up with all the proper locations, but that's not the point of the game. It's just mad dog fun.
Yes, you don't know what you're going to get. When you turn over that dilemma, it could be anything under there.
And there's always the two. There's Syl. That's another Colin Baker. I know you've got a thing about Colin Baker in this game. He's not your happiest doctor.
He's the one with the hardest job because he's not quite as strong as the rest, in my humble opinion.
Well, we will take a little look at those cards later, and you can exemplify that for us as well. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Earth is kind of good for getting your doctor started. So it's good for finding companions. You can get a little bit of movement out of it, and there's a little thing to kind of hinder the Daleks. The real adventure, but the risk, is in going out to other planets, and that risk is enhanced, of course, by the TARDIS dice.
Which is a really lovely little dynamic as well.
Because we all know the TARDIS doesn't always go where the Doctor wants. And both Roger and I have suffered significantly in this game from the TARDIS never going where the Doctor wants. You'll roll the die, and basically you've got a choice. If you're going on Earth, it's no problem. If you're going to visit a time anomaly, it's no problem. But if you want to go to another planet, it's a problem. So you roll the TARDIS die, and if you get the TARDIS, you get to pick 2 location tiles blank, pick one, put it into play, put 2 dilemmas, put your Doctor there, and have your adventure. If, however, you get the question mark, you just get to draw a tile, go down, and you have to go there. Tough. The only thing you get to choose is whether you go to the past or the present on it. So the TARDIS seemed to mess me up quite a few times. Funnily enough, while I was playing Colin Baker.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Says it all. And that's kind of it. You will move your TARDIS through, you'll deal with the dilemmas. The sonic tokens are kind of your battery charge for doing cool things. They're the currency.
For re-rolls and things like that. If you gather up enough sonic tokens, you can spend 3 of them to turn one of your dice to exactly what you want it to be, thereby completing one of the challenges easier. You also use them to go and help another doctor.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
And research companions to get companion. When you go to a new location, if you don't have 3 companions, you can throw a sonic token back into the kitty to draw either an Earth companion if it's an Earth-based adventure, or an alien companion if it's an alien-based adventure. And then that's another cool little trick with it. Some of your companions and some of your doctors will have links to specific people, like Unit or Sarah Jane, I think, has a link to the Brigadier or something like that there. Yes. So if you've already got one of those companions and you go to, say, Earth in this case, instead of randomly taking one, you can pay the money and go through and find the named companion and bring them into play.
Yes.
So it keeps reinforcing that idea of it making sense in a story way too, which for a dice placement game, it's really nice that story is on the surface, bubbling away all the time.
Yes. And even if that original companion, say Sarah Jane, isn't with her original Doctor, she still has a link to the Brigadier, so they will become a wee mini team under your whichever Doctor it's there.
Yep.
So it does work.
And it is lovely. They're all there from the first, the second, the third, the whole way up through. Well, not the third yet. There's a few of the Doctors. There's another expansion as yet not released, but we can talk about that in due course and what that might or might not offer us. But I think that the sensible thing for us to do is maybe to even just lay it out and give you a rough idea of how it looks set up and available for play. The only other thing is to say that the expansions, it is a case of these exist to give you more choice, more variety, to add more mileage to your game. And even if you're not a big fan of one of the particular Doctors, or as we said earlier, you're not familiar with them because you've never watched them, they do bring quite different aspects, quite different companions and different tricks and tactics to the game. So even if you want to play this from a purely mechanical point of view, there's a lot of merit in expansions to broaden the scope and the opportunity and range of things that you can do. Stay there. We'll be back before you can say we're back. Okay, so just to close off, this is an initial setup. Now, it's not set up the way they will show you in the rule book. It's obviously set up so we can fit it in the camera shot. But the concept is exactly the same. And just to show you what is here, we have our reference cards. They're double-sided. One side shows you the likelihood of the different facings on each colour of dice. The other side shows you a turn sequence. we have available the deck of time anomaly cards, which correspond to the time anomaly tokens on the central board. We've got our draw decks for our companions, both alien and Earth. We have our stack of available location tiles. We have our stack of available dilemma tiles. It's worth mentioning that this stack, though you're looking straight down on it, is all of them. But there's no hard and fast rules of how many to include in your game. Obviously the core game's base number would be the minimum you'd want to have. But if you want to swap some out with expansions and keep it a sort of a steady number, there's no issue with that. If we're going to want available doctors to regenerate to, we've set up for 2 players here, but we've allowed ourselves that we can regenerate to other doctors that are in the box as per the rules as well. We've got the Daleks available. Should an encounter go badly wrong, these Dalek tokens will start appearing on locations. Locations won't go away unless the Dalek token is removed, and the Daleks exterminate 1 dice out of your pool, combined with any other dice effects from the location or dilemma. Got our supply of various tokens available. Central board is set up with the Dalek mothership on Scarrow. We have our 3 existing dilemmas already drawn for Earth Future, Earth Past and Earth Present, and those sections of the board are kind of divided with a little faint line that you'll see there as well. You do in each situation, as you'll see here too, get a little suggestion of what the challenge is going to be. So you can see the first part of the challenge. It's like the doctor arriving and immediately knowing that something's not right, but not knowing what, and until that dilemma is flipped over, you don't know what the rest of that challenge is going to be. It could be 1 cube to resolve, it could be 3, it could be 4. It could be something entirely different as well. Earth, the starting point for the TARDIS. And then we have our 2 starting doctors. And we've gone with the 12th and the 4th, the doctor cards in position beside their TARDIS consoles. Their 2 starting companions as per the doctor's cards out in play. And we have our doctor ready to leave the TARDIS and head to whatever location we decide to go to. Their initial setup of 2 Sonic tokens and 2 timey-wimey cards. And it's worth just throwing in right now, timey-wimey cards, they're a little bit like gold dust. While you'll get Sonic charge tokens at the start of every one of your turns, timey-wimey cards are awarded for completing adventures.
Okay. We have the turn token, or our turn sequence. On the back here, it tells you everything you really need to know about what you're going to play. First of all, you'll start with add 2 Sonic Charge tokens. So say it's my turn. You start the game with 2 in hand. You'll be straight away up to 4. Then you can dismiss companions. Well, I'm not going to be dismissing Clara right at this stage. Then you can discard equipment. So if I had any equipment out, I could discard that. Then you can play equipment. So I'll flip my timey-wimey cards over, just see what they are. One is Teamwork, which is an event. I'll keep that for later. Nitro 9, which is again another event. So I have no equipment. Equipment's really useful. I have none to play. Use Prepare Step Effect. Well, what I will be doing now is traveling. So you decide where you want to go. As a quick example, I'll go to Earth Past. It's nice and easy. I don't have to roll the TARDIS dice to travel, which is very useful. Then you can also stay where you are, should you choose to. When I reach here, because this is Earth Past, you can recruit companions here for free. Normally you'd have to pay either a timey-wimey token or a Sonic token to recruit them. So I'll do that. Clara isn't linked to anybody, and the 12th Doctor is only linked to Clara, so you pick up the first one. There you go, Rose Tyler, excellent. She doesn't come onto my card just yet. She just hangs about just below. I can use her this turn, but I don't get to keep her unless I'm successful. You'll determine the challenge. You do that by flipping over this card. So I will turn this so that you can see it a little better. But this is Cyberman, a fixed point. this is quite dangerous. I cannot re-roll dice in a fixed point. Some of the skills you'll have will allow re-rolls. That's just taking it all out. So in order to defeat this challenge, I will need to roll these 4 symbols. The green dice is more likely to have these 2 symbols. The blue dice is most likely to have this symbol, and the red dice is most likely to have this one. You create your dice pool. I have 4 black dice for the doctor. I'll set those on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 red dice. Now, Clara will allow me 1 green dice, but whilst with the 12th Doctor, I get a red dice. She's very useful. Rose Tyler gets me 1 green dice. That's my dice pool full, so even if I had access to more dice, I couldn't use them. But the twist now is she will allow me to change one of my black dice to a blue one. This is your companions focusing your attention on things that you need to look at. Try and do this, try and do that. The black dice has 1 of every symbol, so you've got a 1 in 6 chance of getting any of those. The red dice, as we see on the back here, has a lot of physical attacks and the chevrons and 1 idea. I'm trying to get the chevrons, so I'd like to have some more red dice. I have 2, that's probably enough. I need to get 2 green symbols. The running man is only appearing on the green dice. I need 1 of those. And the speech bubble appears both on blue dice and on green dice. So what I'm going to do is change one of my black to a blue, which gives me a chance of getting the blue symbol here, but also the speech bubble. Rose Tyler allows me to change 2 black dice to 2 green dice. I might do that. I'll swap those 2. Oh, I can't because we've run out of green dice. I only have 1 left. So take this. That's my dice pool. Flip back over. Create your dice pool. Roll your dice. Okay, so these are the symbols I'm trying to match to. This is a green speech bubble. Excellent. This is a green running man. Brilliant. This is the atomic symbol. Got it. And the red chevrons. Got it. Excellent. My companions were perfect for this particular one. So remove these. I have beaten this. If I beat it, I get to keep my companion. That's it. Doesn't do anything else. So I'm choosing to keep Rose Tyler because she's excellent. If I had a failed, I would have pick a time zone on Earth and place a Dalek marker on that time zone. That would have meant from now on, one of these time zones would be harder to defeat. But this is now beaten, goes off to one side, and a new dilemma will come out. Hidden, ready for the next Doctor. The other symbols on here, this would allow me to re-roll 1 black dice. This would allow me to re-roll all the green dice. And if you're going to use it, you have to re-roll all the green dice. You can't just pick a couple of them or 1 of them up. You have to re-roll all of them. And if you had other things which allowed certain re-rolls, they would give you different options. And the prepare step is during your prepare step, you can discard a sonic charge token to draw a timey-wimey card. So I didn't do that this time, but that would have been a very useful thing to do. And that's my turn. It would then pass to the next Doctor, and so on. Once the next Doctor is gone, the Daleks will go. The Daleks will move forward 1. That's all that's really happening. Once the mothership reaches a time anomaly, one of the time anomaly cards is played, and it happens immediately. You deal with the consequences from that point on. Once the Daleks have moved their turn, it then goes back to the first Doctor again, and you go again. And that is a turn.
The only thing that we'll throw into that mix for a bit of clarity as well is the colours of the dice, whilst they have different percentage chances of throwing out the symbols, For resolution, you don't have to match the colour. You only need
That's
to
a
match
good
the
point.
symbol.
That's a good point.
But it's one it's easily overlooked, and we'll just throw in because we were focused on that at the start too, because whilst the rulebook is fairly well written, fairly straightforward, flows very nicely, and indeed, as you've seen, the turn flows very straightforwardly as well. We were a little bit rushed in our first game. We made it a bit hard on ourselves with the Daleks going after every doctor, and we were trying to match up coloured dice. Again, a familiar mechanic, and we followed a rule that we knew from another game rather than the rule for this game, so we were a bit naughty the first time. It's also worth noting that Earth is the only tile where the dilemmas are replaced. When location tiles come out, as you resolve the dilemmas, they don't get replaced, and when there's no dilemmas on a tile, that location then leaves play as well. That's us for now. We will probably do another short little video where we'll run through a couple of turns and try and exemplify pretty much everything that can go on with it. Meanwhile, thanks for watching.